right. Well, all right, gang. Well, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I cannot tell everybody how happy I am that it's Halloween, because a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, that must be because Halloween's your favorite holiday, right, Matt? No, I would say Christmas is probably my favorite holiday because it's baby Jesus's birthday, you heathens, and Joy loves Christmas, so the house always smells real nice and there's lots of good food and stuff like that. So anyway, but I'm glad that it's the 31st of October because it means that this is the last video that I have to make in my October do a video every single day, October 2024. I got to tell you guys, man, it was a lot of labor to get that done. And frankly, I can't believe I did it. So for those of you who sent me comments and words of encouragement, thank you very much. For those of you who watch the videos, thank you. I know that far and away. Okay, Joy was saying that yesterday I said far and away. And now I remember when I said it, far and away. I would have never said far and away. I would have said far and away. The most popular video that we did all month long was the Les Paul things that I would change. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. It's also our spooky, there's really nothing spooky about it, our spooky Halloween episode of the guitar chat with Chris and Matt. Oh, by the way, Chris has today off, so he will not be joining us tonight. But yeah, so guys, there's lots and lots and lots of good stuff to talk about. I want to see if I can get you guys to help me with, asking me questions. And if anybody needs a good idea for a Halloween costume, I'm more than happy to answer, to help you with that. Last minute Halloween costumes. Or if you want to see if I can guess what your Halloween costume is, let's try that too. Leave me a bunch of stuff in the chat, like a bunch of question marks or something, and I will try to answer what your question is. For example, Dan says, I know how much you put into the videos for October. Hope you know they were much appreciated. Well, thank you so much, Dan. That is a lovely thing to say. Let's see. Joey Dano is here, and that's, of course, is my good friend Doug. Doug's Les Paul bits are showing up. He's getting a Bigsby. I talked with Dylan about his pickups today. It's going to be it's going to be a really cool Les Paul style instrument, and I think he's going to really dig it. Paul Hall sent us €2, £2. Thank you so much, Paul. I guess I don't know how the euro pound thing works. I guess after Brexit, maybe England doesn't use euros. Forgive me because I don't know. But thank you very much, Paul. Black Dog Sheep. Hey, Zed, all of your black hardware from Hipshot is here. It's waiting for you, so you don't have to worry. Zed and all the other guys who are in the Ultimate Les Paul Building Workshop. Guys, it's going to be so much fun. I've got the whole shop is ready to go. Everyone's toolboxes are ready to rock. All of their parts are in there. So like when you show up for that workshop, you get the, like aside from the neck and body stuff, you also get the bridge and the tuners and the, like potentiometers and switch and strap buttons and all the other stuff that's not pickups and strings. People wonder, why don't you give pickups away? Well, frankly, we want to offer the guitars with different pickup arrangements. So, and I can't guess what everyone's going to want. So if it just seemed easier that, like, if you want to put P90s in your guitar, no problem, bring them and we'll cut your guitar for P90s. You want to put humbuckers in your guitar, no problem. we'll put humbuckers in. We'll cut them for humbuckers. You want to put one of each? No problem. We can do that. If you're my good friend Doug, who always wants something a little different, you want a P90 in the neck and a Firebird pickup with a ring in the bridge. No sweat. I'm used to it by now, and Doug is such a good friend that I will bend over backwards because he has always bent over backwards to help us out. So that is a cool thing. So, and by the way, Doug, I did talk to Dylan about the pickups, and we know exactly what we're going to do, and they're going to be super, super cool. Your Bigsby is in, and it looks good too. So a lot of people have been getting their guitars because I've been getting notes from people about how they got their guitars. I want to take a moment to read some of those because I think they're cool and they're good. Let's take a quick question from Paul Hall, who says, "Nothing to forgive. There's a few limited edition stickers in the post for your parcels." Oh, thank you so much, my friend. That's very kind of you. Okay, so let's a couple of people. So my good friend Rod Harris, Hot Rod, up in Alaska, got his American Icon pinstripe no F-hole guitars, and it looks totally sweet with his 5E3 Fender Deluxe style amp that he built with us a couple 3 weeks ago. So Rod, I think that looks cool. He sent me a text the other day to let me know that he got it. Mike says that I heard your podcast yesterday. I wanted to share with you my thoughts. First and foremost, I have an enormous respect for what TTG does. I will never be even a mediocre player, but I discover an amazing instrument that hopefully other far more accomplished musicians will be able to play long after I'm gone. The soul of an instrument is with the player and the artist who crafted it. Nothing is more important than legacy. Your instruments have that in spades. Respectfully, Mike. Thank you so much, Mike. And Mike's got a couple of guitars coming to him very soon. Joel said that he got his Paisley Challenger. He says, "Hello, gentlemen." I'm not sure who that's to. My guitar arrived an hour ago, and it's perfect, just beautiful. It feels and plays like a warm stick of butter. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joel. That's very kind of you. Joey Dano Guitars says ad free and sent us $10. You guys remember that all of our live feeds are ad free, and if you want to keep this, if you want to help keep us going ad free, super chats and other stuff, you can join us on Patreon and you can join us on YouTube, and all that stuff goes a long way to helping us keep all this stuff ad free. Robert Ellison says, "Matt, it's been a long time. I've always given you credit for inspiring and helping me on my guitar building journey as a Vietnam vet that had to stop working because of service-related disabilities. If it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have had some of the best moments of the last 10 years. That's Robert, that's a lot to live up to. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm married, and no, I'm not gay. LOL. I tell every single person in my music community, if you want to learn, start with Texas Toast. I don't comment as often as I used to on the videos, but that's not because I don't love the things you and Chris do. Life has changed for me. I have my hands full of alligators and another color lately. Your guitar builder call out with Zachary video is one of the best. In the October series, seeing the Icon maple guitar with black pinstripes and P90 shows why you will go down in history as a serious guitar innovator." Well, thank you. I hope that I can live up to that. And he goes on here to say all the very best and that we deserve that. So thank you so much, Robert. That's very, very kind of you. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. Tim Potter says he got his Challenger too. It was beautiful. Thanks. You guys made me very happy. Thank you so much, Tim. And thank you guys for all of the kind words and all of the nice things that you have to say. So yeah, we've got the rest of the hour to hang out and talk about Halloween stuff and talk about guitar stuff. And I'm going to take a quick super chat from my good buddy Mike Beckloff. It says, "Ad free for me too." God bless you, my friend. Mike Beckloff is going to be joining us for a special. Okay. Mike has wanted to come out with his sons when he comes out. So he wants to and will be doing the the semi hollow body cutaway workshop. I can't remember. I think it's in August. And I went ahead and added another one because the first one sold out. And I'm like, oh man, I don't have 3 spots, Mike. Why don't we just do another one? So, I'm gonna be posting that there will be some more spots open for the one that Mike and Chris and John are going to be out here for, and it's going to be great to have them back out here. And if you guys want to come out and build guitars with the Becklofts, you can. And there's lots of other stuff too. I think, yeah, as a matter of fact, I know I had to add another neck through SG workshop because we're running out of spots, or we ran out of spots for that one too. So lots and lots and lots of good stuff. Guys, if you've got any questions, or if you just want to send me a super chat, or if you want to let me know that you're watching from Budapest, Hungary, okay, I apologize in advance. Zolly Bixel. I know I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. I have Panhandle, Texas, public school dyslexia, and I get merds mixed up. But so names for me are very difficult, but thank you for watching, my friend, and welcome. And I hope that things are going well for you in Budapest. So yeah, guys, lots and lots of stuff has been going on. I spent the better part of the day, like I said, cleaning and getting ready for the Ultimate Les Paul building workshop today. This evening, Joy and I will be attending the theater again. It's a cool thing that we have discovered we really enjoy. The Arvada Center for the Performing Arts is always good, and we're going to see like a Halloween thing tonight, so it'll be spooky and fun. And we've got people to handle the trick-or-treaters that come to the house for us, so it's gonna be a good night, and I'm looking forward to that. What else? Well, you might notice that I don't have a Halloween costume on. Well, that's because I'm 54 years old. It's actually because we went to Odyssey Beer Works, the great American beer works, on Saturday, and we went to their Halloween party. Here's how much of a lightweight I am, y'all. We were there from like 7 o'clock to, I don't know, 10:30. Maybe we were there at 6 to 10:30. We were there for a while. And I had 1, 2, 3 beers at Odyssey Beer Works, the great American beer works, that night, over the course of easily 4 hours. I was so hungover and felt like such hammered dog do the next day that I'm like, I must be like the cheapest beer date going. So anyway, Joy even drove, so I didn't have to do anything rotten. So I don't have a costume on. I'm just going as myself today because that's how I feel. But guys, like I said, if you want help on last minute Halloween costume, or if you want to see if I can guess what your Halloween costume is, please let me know in the chat section. If you want to, Van Shank Guitar says he's working up a sweat just handing out candy. There must be a lot of little kids in his neighborhood that are enjoying getting free candy from the homeowners association, or whatever. I don't know, homeowners association. It is my understanding that what do you guys like better? Do you like tricks or treats better? Myself, I've always been a treat kind of guy. I'm rarely, if ever, interested in tricking. I'm more interested in treats. I'm definitely a lover, not a fighter. Dan Andradis, my good buddy up in Canada, says second guitar lesson yesterday, learned 5 chords already, and the American icon is iconic. Guys, that is, Dan, I can't tell you how proud I am that one of the guitars that came out of my shop, the Texas Toast Icon, has inspired you after however many years of you wanting to learn to play guitar, has inspired you to finally dive right in and go for it. I cannot stress this enough. It means so much to me to hear about you guys playing the guitars. And Dan, it means I don't know how I can't, for the first time in a long time, I'm speechless. it means so much to me to know that you have decided to pick up a guitar and start rocking out. And I think that that is just so cool that you did so with one of our guitars. I cannot tell you how proud I am of that, and I cannot tell you how proud I am of you for playing the guitar and enjoying it. You know, it's not like very many activities that you start when you're a young person. So like it is, sports are definitely one of those things that you will probably have to stop doing at some point if you play, you know, football or baseball or basketball or soccer or something. It is very likely that there will come a day when you have to stop. And I'm not saying that, you know, you can't play catch or shoot hoops down at the rec center or something, but if you start playing the guitar when you're 6 and you live to be 106, you can literally play the guitar for 100 years. You could play the guitar until the day you die. You don't need anybody to have the guitar be fun. And it's not particular. You don't have to have a great big amp and crank up the volume, although it is a good idea to do so. You can play in front of a festival crowd, or you can play in your bedroom, and a lot of people have done that. Les Paul did that. Gosh, I think he had a standing gig every Tuesday night at some bar in New York, I think, and played the guitar until he died. So, yeah. So Dan, congratulations. I'm very proud of you, sir. Let's see. Zed wants to know, what kind of tricks are we talking about? You know, like a pranky kind of things. Bob says, any chance of getting a cool hat like yours? I think Joy was going to look into it. As a matter of fact, Joy is looking into that. Now, this hat comes from a place called Two Roads Hat Company. And it is I can't remember what it is, but it's got a pencil roll brim. A lot of people think that it is like a campaign hat, but it's not like a campaign hat. Campaign hat is flat. It doesn't have a roll on the brim. So campaign hat is very different. Let's see. Mike Beckloff says, Dan, 3 chords in the truth. Now, what he means by that, Dan, in case you don't know, on the wildly remote chance that you don't know, is not that you learn 2 chords too many. It's that if you speak the truth and know 3 guitar chords, that's all you need. And I couldn't agree more. Okay. And Joyce says she's going to follow up on the Two Roads Hat Company stuff. So, guys, I got an interesting package in the mail yesterday, and I didn't expect it. It showed up, and it was obviously a guitar. And I'm going to show you the guitar here in a second. And it was from my good friend Bobby Dill. Hey, Dylan, how are you? It was from my good friend Bobby Dill, and there were 2 envelopes, and the first envelope says, "If nothing else, I'm a man of my word." Bobby Dill is a good friend of ours. You might know him as Lil Bobby D. And I don't know if he knows that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. And I want you guys to see the guitar. In the letter, he says, "I said this guitar would eventually be coming back to you. Working on this guitar helped me back from a dark place. That and meeting you guys." You know what? That is a lovely, lovely thing to hear. The work is very poor. And by the way, the work is not very poor, but it was the best I could do at the time. It is still a great playing guitar. You do what you want with it. I would be honored if you would hang it up in a dusty corner. If someone would ask, "What's the deal with that goofy POS?" You could say, "If you have a minute, have I got a story for you? Sometimes a guitar is more than a guitar. Take care, my friends." Bobby Dill. Well, let's just look at the guitar. So I think that I know the whole story about this. This guitar is one of the original Gray Street instruments. And let me move this water bottle. I remember Bobby brought this in because he wanted me to see it. And he wanted me to see it because, as I recollect, this may or may not have been sold as a completed instrument. I think that this was sold as a body and a neck. The neck might have been glued on, but it was definitely not painted. It was unfinished. I'm going to guess this is a poplar body with a maple neck because we made a lot of that kind of stuff back then. But Bobby Dill finished this guitar out. It's so old it doesn't even have the current headstock on it. It's got one of the original style headstocks. And well, let's just dig into what we have going on here. I don't want to. I don't know if Bobby's watching right now, but Bobby had a health scare, and I think that what he means when he says that it helped him get back from a dark place was that he enjoyed working on this and was able to distract himself from that kind of thing and focus on something positive. And isn't it nice to be able to focus on something positive in life in general? You know, there's so many things that make life difficult, and sometimes just having something positive to focus on is a big help. Anyway, so this was sold with no hardware, no nothing, so Bobby did all the paint work. He finished it out. The frets feel great. I think the paint looks cool. The pinstripes look cool. He did some. I'm guessing he did this belly contour here. All the buffing, of course. There's pinstripe. Look, there's pinstripes even on the back of the old headstock there, and you can feel the pinstripes. So they're done by hand. They're not like on the headstock there. They're done by hand, and you can feel them. They're in there. Yeah. Oh, look, it's got the old push-pull here. He sent me a list of pieces here. This bridge, he had to modify this bridge here. This is a made in USA bridge by, I can't read the writing, but I'll be able to look on the spec sheet that he included. And he had to build a little shim. I don't know if you can see it there. You see there's an aluminum shim underneath the bridge to get it tall enough, because this is made for like a tune-o-matic height bridge. Okay. And he made a little poker chip even that says Texas Toast. So that's cool. I like that a lot. Let's see what the spec sheet says. I'm going to put this guy right here because I think it's cool. Specs, if interested. All right. PRS Kluson style tuners. Bobby's a big fan of PRS guitars and Texas Toast guitars. PRS Mira pickups with covers. PRS dual volume and push-pull tone pot. I'm not sure what that does. Let's see if it says here. USA Forney bridge. I'm not familiar with that one, but it looks cool. It's a top loader, but it looks like it could do top loader or string through. Wiring looks like a bird's nest. I'm not going to pull the back cover off, but I'll take your word for it. Just used bits I had around the shop. The bones were good. Still always my favorite guitar. Something in the case, either the material or the glue, reacted with the paint. It also has dings and dents. It is a player after all. So I'm kind of it's a somber moment because I have a sneaking suspicion that Bobby Dill sent us this guitar because he wanted to do it before he couldn't. And I don't I probably shouldn't say anymore. I probably shouldn't say what I've said. But it means a lot to me that my friend would send this guitar back to me, and I uh, 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 I know what he means, but I don't want to put this in a dusty corner. Although I do think that Bobby Dale would say, "Hey, it's from the original shop. This is a real Texas Toast guitar, and it's probably had a bunch of wood dust on it." And I don't. This is too special to me to have be all dirty, and it's too special for me to take it to my house where no one will ever see it again. I think that this guitar deserves a wall of fame place in the shop, and I don't know where that's going to be yet. But the case is beautiful too. It's way over there. But he custom painted the case, and it says Texas Toast on it. It's leopard on the ends. It's just cool, and so it's neat for this to come back. And it's unfortunate that, this is a bittersweet kind of thing. And I don't know if I don't know what I'm not 100% sure. I'm just assuming some stuff, and I probably shouldn't. But Bobby Dale, if you are watching, rest assured that this will go in an honored spot. Per your request, there'll be dust. And it's a story that I won't mind telling 100 million times. So anyway, okay. So, okay, guys, let's, boy, that was, okay. All right. Let's moving right along. I'm going to leave Bobby Dale's, I'm going to leave little Bobby D's Challenger, up here, and you guys can check it out throughout the, it'll be here throughout the whole rest of the video. So, so guys, I certainly do appreciate you being here with me today. And I hope that you're having a great Halloween. I hope that you're dressed up. I hope you get lots of trick-or-treaters. I hope a bunch of cute little guys running around in ghosts and ballerina or whatever. If it's too cold there, maybe you need to be like a snowman or a grizzly bear costume. I don't know. Maybe if you live somewhere warm, you can be I don't know what kids do for Halloween. But okay, I'm going to try to get myself back onto track here. I've got my hot beverage, and guys, again, I'm going to be answering your guitar building or guitar related questions. If you want to know more about this one, if you want to know more about any of the guitars behind me, let's talk about that. Of course, we are right smack dab in the middle of a great big sale. And if there's nothing that's floating your boat behind me, on the wall behind me, which represents the majority of the instruments that are on the website in the Buy It Now category, there are a number of instruments that are very, very close to completion, including some really cool pink paisley ones that I think you guys are going to dig. Some level 3s. There's probably a level 2 floating around there. And lots and lots and lots of good stuff. So I want to get everybody to everyone who wants one. I hope that you can get one. Let's see. Victor says you should play Bobby's guitar every once in a while. Victor, I couldn't agree more. I think that's a terrific place. Silver Bushman says love, happiness, peace, bliss, and fulfillment. Butch Landry says no trick or treat out here in the woods. Yeah. So Butch Landry lives kind of out in the I'm gonna say, Butch. I'm gonna show my ignorance here, like in the Everglades or something, or down south, and not in the Everglades, but I think he's kind of out in the middle of where there's no trick or treaters. So well, maybe hopefully your wife bought a bunch of candy and you can eat it, Butch. Stringwood Guitar says we had a little Aussie stop by the shop already. Now that's cool. I think that's really neat. If you have a kid, in a world of Taylor Swift's, be an Aussie, right? Um, Dan wants to know if we could have a reveal tomorrow. Dan, I don't know that we are going to have anything to reveal tomorrow. So I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I think that we've spent a bunch of time this week attempting to get ready for the ultimate Les Paul build workshop, and of course that meant we had to clean the shop, which is a monumental undertaking, because if I'm allowed in the shop, it's going to be a giant mess. The other thing, we had to get all the toolboxes ready. We had to get all the components and pieces and bits and this, that, and the others in the toolboxes ready to receive the half a dozen guys who are going to be here on Monday, ready to build heirloom quality Les Paul guitars. Guys, I gotta tell you, the lumber. Woo! One of the things that I decided to do was I didn't want to offer a plain top. I didn't want to offer like, okay, all we're gonna do is make plain tops, and then if you want a fancy maple one, you can get it for more money. I said, hell with it. Let's just do 3A flame maple and have them be good. And the maple looks really excellent. Now, on Dawgs, because Doug is getting a gold top, Doug's is plain maple, and Doug's is going to have a Bigsby and P90 and Firebird mini humbucker. Except Firebird and mini humbucker are not too dissimilar, but they are not 100% the same. My friend Doc told me what the differences were, and I think it's a bar magnet. So it's getting a Firebird pickup in the bridge, and I of course have to make a special template for that. I have to actually take one of Doc's Firebird templates and kind of put it on this guy and do it the old school way. So yeah, this thing is going to be neat. Gold top and natural back. There's some stuff on the back, and this is going to be beautiful. And I think Doug said this is going to get some really neat, cool custom paintwork from our buddy Mike Learn at Learn Guitars. So in addition to teaching the workshop, I'm going to be building Doug's guitar, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm very excited for that. I love building Les Pauls. Paul Hall says, "Hey, buy Joy a drink tonight, you big softy." I'll do so, my friend. I will do so. Okay. Looks like there's some people cross-dressing in the Van Shank guitar shop. No, I'm teasing. It's I guess they had some trick-or-treaters like who were, I don't want to get into the whole who identifies as what thing. I'm just going along with the gag poorly, I might add, as I'm going along with the gag. Doug asks, is that what they use in steel guitar? Doug, I don't know, but after doing a bunch of investigating into the Neil Young gold top that you sent me, Dylan and I have figured out that that's the pickup size that it's going to be. It matches the pictures that you sent me, and it's going to have that all chrome pickup thing. So it's gonna look and sound absolutely right. We got the Bigsby for it today. It's gonna be really, really cool, and you are going to love it, sir. Yeah, I had to learn a little bit more about. I always thought that Neil Young had like just the black Les Paul, and I don't know why. Like, oh yeah, Neil Young had a bunch of other guitars too. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? But when Doug said he wanted to do a Neil Young style guitar, but he wanted a gold top, I'm like, we didn't have a gold top. Well, of course he has a gold top. He could have 100 gold tops. He's Neil Young. You do whatever he wants, right? And of course, they're all modified to be what Neil Young likes. And of course, he's got like Gretches and other stuff too, and a passel of acoustic guitars. So yeah, Neil Young can have whatever he wants, and unbeknownst to me, which should come as no big shock to anybody, Neil Young has some cool gold tops too, and so Doug wanted one like that. So, okey doke. Stringwood Guitars says, are people still asking for multi-scale builds? Well, they're not asking me for multi-scale builds. I have done exactly one multi-scale guitar in my illustrious career as a guitar builder, and it was neat. But I guess personally, I think that like a multi-scale bass would be neater than a multi-scale guitar. But they're a unique instrument. They're a little daunting when you pick one up and you're like, how am I gonna? But the fact of the matter is that people who can play, who have never played a multi-scale instrument, have no problem at all just going to town on a multi-scale guitar. So maybe they're cooler than I think. I guess I lean a little towards the traditional stuff, and even the guitars that are my own designs tend to lean more towards the very familiar traditional, or you could even say vintage style instrument. But I think that multi-scale guitars are cool. Oh, Chris is in the chat too, you guys. So there you go. Multi-scale guitars are cool, but they're just kind of not my thing. Kind of like headless guitars. I think headless guitars are neat, but I don't really want to make them. So yeah. There are some tricks to doing the multi-scale instrument. Believe it or not, the hardest part for me for building the multi-scale instrument that I built, and it was actually something not, as I recollect, it was more of a Les Paul shape. It wasn't too far off from the Challenger, but it wasn't exact. The frets were fairly easy to do once I figured out how to do it, which is if you imagine this, I think on mine, the 7th fret was perpendicular to the strings and all the other frets fanned. So the 7th fret was 90 degrees to the strings, close enough. And everything else fanned out. So the 6, 1 through 6 was fanned towards the headstock, and 8 through 22 or 24, I don't remember, were fanned toward the body. And so what you would do is you'd have the lower scale on the bottom, which in my case I used 24 5/8, and on the top I used 25 1/2 because those were the longest and shortest guitar scales that I had. And I went ahead and laid them out, and I cut them by hand. But the hardest thing was the nut, because you've got a couple of different angles happening there. And so yeah, for me, the nut was the hardest bit to make it look right. But anyway, are people still asking for them? I'm sure that they are, but they're just not asking me. Silver Bushman says headless guitars are missing something. They sure are. So yeah, gosh, what else can we talk about? What is the title of this video even supposed to be? I think it's spooky guitar stories and your questions answered. Well, and by the way, this is also my okay. I want to make sure I get this right. The every day in October 2024 video, since this is the last day of the month, this is the last one of those I'm going to make. So if you missed any of those, you can go to the channel and just look at the they'll all be on a playlist, and you can check all that stuff out, and you can watch it. You can watch every single video. Yeah, I don't think we don't have a whole lot of good ideas here. So it's really up to you guys to ask more questions, and I will get to those. Yeah, we can talk about Bobby Dill's guitar. We can talk about Les Paul's. We can talk about neck throughs. Let's talk about neck throughs for a while, because I think that is a good segue into something that I have decided I wanted to do. In October I wanted to do a video every single month, and it was I was inspired by someone who had like one of those videos where like, hey, do a bunch of videos and challenge yourself. And so hold on a second, guys. I'm going to come back to this. Bobby Dale just chimed in. He says, hey, Matt, just tuned in. Had some surgery Monday, waiting on some scan results. Life is a contest. Every day you wake up, you win. Looking forward to the big 70 Saturday. Take care, my friend. Bobby Dill, it is so good to hear from you, my friend. I was telling a little story about this guitar here, and I'm glad that you made it. I hope that everything is going as well as can be expected. You are 100% right, my friend. If any day you are above ground, things could definitely be a lot worse, right? And I am glad that you are above ground. And thank you for the super chat, my friend. Yeah. Okay. Again, this is rare for me to be speechless. Okay, so neck through. And why I did this this absurd do a video every single day in October thing. It occurred to me as I was doing it that I should have done a video every day for Patreon members and for YouTube members of the channel. A lot of you guys are out there, and I hope that you don't feel like the second class citizen because you're paying for these videos, and I put them all on YouTube, and I kind of forget about the Patreon thing. So it occurred to me, why don't we make a whole bunch of videos, maybe not a video every single day in a month, but a lot of videos in a like one right after the other of me doing some neck through work, because I've been enjoying neck through stuff. And so here's my plan. And if you guys want to sign up for Patreon, you absolutely can. If you want to sign up for YouTube, you can. And if you are signed up, you're already going to be getting you'll have to go find the videos. Well, you won't have to go find them. There'll be links in Patreon and on the YouTube member thing, and just you'll get notifications of videos coming out. So the idea is that there'll be like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 or 5 videos. And then there'll be a live stream that will be for Patreon and YouTube members only. So you can ask me questions about what has been going on in the build. I'll show you where we are. Like if you have questions that came up during the, during the filming of the videos, you're like, hey, what were you doing in that one where you had the tool and you were going, what degree angle was it that you have the neck and things like that. So I want to have some live streams, and I kind of want to do this something like kind of giving it back to my members, because members make this channel happen, you guys. Actually, every one of you makes this channel happen. And if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. Obviously, we wouldn't be on YouTube, but we wouldn't be here in the shop. My landlord stopped by today, and for an unrelated reason, and we were talking, and I said, it's been 5 years, Ruben. He's like, really? 5 years? It seems like you guys just moved in yesterday. I'm like, I know, man. It went by fast. And if it weren't for the support of all of you guys, and if it weren't for you guys buying the guitars, and if it weren't for you coming out and taking the workshops, and if it weren't for you guys sending me super chats for because you're cool and you like what we do, there would be no shop. You guys make it happen. And I mean that sincerely. And I don't, I'm sure every other guitar company probably says that, but the simple fact of the matter is that without, well, okay, here's the disconnect. Without customers, shops like Fender and Gibson, factories like Fender and Gibson wouldn't be around. But I have friends who happen to buy stuff from me. Okay. You guys aren't just customers to me. You are an extended family. We cast the net on this miracle of YouTube and interneting. And you guys see me and I guess you like enough what I do that you keep coming back. And without you guys, I couldn't do it. And I consider you all my friends and my family, not just customers. Okay. All right. So if you're interested in the big upcoming neck through thing, I hope that you join up and check them out. So Stringwood Guitar says, yes, multi-laminate neck throughs are my favorite to build because they are cool. Kewl. They are cool. I dig them. And I think that the multi-laminate neck through is probably the hot setup for they're the hot setup for neck throughs. Someone told me the other day that they didn't think that two-piece guitar necks are multi-laminate or laminate construction. I disagree. I think that technically that's correct, but I think that a lot of people think multi-lam necks and they think like, and he said this in his comment, and I agree with him, 3, 5, 7, 9, 50 piece laminations. But I think that neck throughs and multi-lam neck throughs are super, super cool. Okay. Dan Andreas has one here, and he says, when we were checking string height to slot the nut, was the guitar tuned or dropped down? Dan, you want the strings to be at about the same tension they are when they're tuned, mostly because if they're you want them to act like they're going to act when they are when they're at pitch. Okay. But if you're tuned down a step, or if you're tuned up a step, it shouldn't matter. Just get them taught and you'll be fine. Okay. Richard Ryan is here. How you doing, Richard? I haven't seen you for a little while. Lefty says 2 pieces glued together is laminate. I think so too. Brian says, don't make me buy another guitar. I'm trying to help. Brian, your guitar is actually awaiting assembly. And we've got to, part of the thing that we had to do is we had to get all these pickups and bridges and stuff, and Hipshot was out of trims for a little while. So we had to get trims, and we got a Hipshot delivery today. We got a WD delivery today. Keeping up with you guys ain't always easy. That's for sure. So anyway, but it is my job to sell you guitars. Whether you like that is, it's none of my concern. Dylan sent us a super chat. Thank you, Dylan. He must be like, oh, Matt's floundering. I better send him a question. When you make a design or features change, like going from the bridge on Bobby's guitar to a stop bar or the one you use, how much work is that? I know it's more than pushing a button. Yeah. So, well, Dylan, on this one, Bobby had to source a bridge, and then he added a spacer. Now, I've always loved the early Hamer guitars, and of course, the very early Hamer instruments were not unlike this. They were hardtail Strat bridges with a rosewood spacer to get them up to the right height. And so this spacer here under this, what appears to be a hardtail Strat or a Telly bridge with no pickup hole, that's what I'm thinking it is, because it's got Telly style saddles. It's got an aluminum spacer, and that to me is very reminiscent of the early Hamer stuff with the rosewood spacer. It's something I've never done, but I don't know why. Frankly, I think it's an elegant solution, and I think it's cool. But I don't think that I think that if I made a guitar with a wood shim under the bridge, people would be bummed out. On our, if we were